Hello and welcome. We are doing a grand finale today. So, fifth and last day of the first ever launch week here at Bindplane. And we're going out on a bang. So, today we're, I'm gonna say, Ryan, you can agree, but it's probably the most requested features we've had release in Bindplane in quite a while. So, AI and the probably the most requested one is dark mode. We have both from our customers and internally in our team. I know Dylan is going to be stoked about dark mode. And yeah, and of course LLM, the big buzzword, the big and the all requested AI buzzword. So what does that specifically mean for today? So as always, we're going to do a demo. So you're going to see hands on what we have in store for you. But in short, just to give you a top down a rundown, it's that right now we're obviously going to launch and roll out a bunch of cool AI features across the next couple of weeks. But for right now, you have access to LLMs within processors. So it's going to start with a AI-powered log parser for the regex pattern, and then it's going to just snowball from there. We're gonna roll out a bunch of cool stuff for you in the coming weeks. But for right now, it's still opt-in, so you don't need to worry about anything happening without your specific I'm gonna say confirmation. You opt in, and then based on that, the LLM is going to essentially read a very small portion of your log lines, and then based on that, give you suggestions on parsing. So nothing's happening behind the scenes without you specifically saying that it's okay. Yeah, I think it's time for you to check out what that would look like in Bindplane.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Let's do a demo. So, I'm kind of a light mode forever guy, but dark mode in Bindplane is looking pretty good. So anyway, dark mode's live today if you're using Bindplane Cloud. If you're on a self-hosted version, we're doing a release next week, be 191, and you'll have dark mode in that. So just from the hamburger menu, swap over to dark mode, and there you go, looking pretty fresh. Take a look at kind of summary page here. Looks, super nice. But let's also take a look at some of the really cool AI assisted parsing we're doing in Bindplane now. So before I show you a demo, maybe I think it'd be helpful to kind of just walk you through how we think about integrating LLMs into Bindplane. As you're building out these pipelines, this is obviously mission critical stuff, right? It needs to work, and so it's really important that you as the expert and practitioner kind of remain in control, remain in the loop. And we're utilizing AI to help make your job easier and accelerate what you're doing. But we're not doing it in a way that's frustrating or creating issues. I think of like the common kind of vibe coding experience, if any of you have done some of that, where it's like you've made it pretty far, just like chatting with whatever tool it is. And then suddenly it's just creating all these issues, and you're like, you're sitting there and you're like, no, do it right this time. And it tries again and it's wrong. And you're like, yeah, but you messed it up. Like you said you fixed it, you didn't fix it. That friction point, is really painful and really frustrating, and fine in a, hey, I'm trying to vibe code some like random, internal app or whatever that isn't really mission critical. But we're talking about, some serious stuff here, and it's important this works for you. And You're always in control. And so as we continue to integrate features that utilize LLMs, I think the approach you'll see us take is one that is um, has a lot of intent behind it and is as much as possible feeling like magic. It's just like, yes, this just worked, made my life easier, and I can move on to the next thing. And I think often you might not even know that an LLM is playing a role in the background, assuming, of course, as Anand mentioned, you've opted in your org to utilizing these features, which is required. None of them are on by default. And we're not storing any of the data, and none of the foundation model companies are training on any of this data as well. So that is important to understand. But with all that, let me show you a quick demo of the first feature we have in Bindplane. Cool. So we'll pop open the editor. Of course, we've got a sample. Now, as you all know, a lot of log sources in Bindplane just out of the box work. Bindplane's configured to parse that data for you automatically. But when you're pulling in, say, non-standard syslog, or you've got custom log sources and you need to parse that data, things start to become quite a bit more complicated. And that's usually when you're writing custom regex to deal with this. And so you can see I've got this unstructured log in the body here, and this is where I would start to try and parse that so I can do all the great transformations in Bindplane. So I might pull up the parse with regex processor, and I want to parse the body and I want to parse it to the body. And so I would come down here and start to write regex. Maybe I would use a tool like regex 101, or maybe I'm actually just copying this over to ChatGPT and being like, give me regex, and coming back to Bindplane and trying it again. Well, now in Bindplane, next to this regex pattern, you just hit generate. And what we'll do is we'll take a bunch of these samples from your snapshot. We'll pass those off to the LLM. We'll generate a regex pattern for you. We'll describe exactly what's happening, and go ahead and just hit use. We'll insert that, save it, and it's instantly parsed. And so what used to take, maybe 15, 20 minutes is now happening in 15 or 20 seconds. And it's the thing that I'm sure most of you, if you're like me, hate doing. Writing regex is not very fun. It's painful. And so that's hopefully making things much easier. Now, as soon as we did that, then the Bindplane recommendations just kick in. Like, the data is structured. Now we can parse that timestamp automatically. We can come in here and parse our severities automatically. We can now filter based on that severity that we've parsed it. We can delete those parse fields from the body. We don't need those anymore. And sure, let's delete empty values. And so now in about a minute, I've gone from this unstructured event to something that's fully parsed and optimized and ready to send to my backend. And we can roll out that change. So pretty cool. Really hoping this makes your life easier as you're working on parsing these unstructured events you might have. Please let us know what you think. This is going to be rolling out over the next week or two, kind of in phases. So we'll be enabling it on certain orgs, and then the rollout will expand from there. And as Anand mentioned, lots of other cool LLM related features in the works. So you'll start to see more and more of this inside of Bindplane.
Really cool. Really, really cool. I love how it all ties together with the suggestions as well, and that's just going to just grow exponentially once we focus more and more on LLM features moving forward. So yeah, I think that's the point of it. The point of it is to get all of these tedious things out of the way as quick as possible, so you can focus on creating value for your product and for your company. So I think a lot of exciting things going to happen in the next couple of months. That's for sure.
All right, cool. I think that's it.
we are officially done with the first ever launch week.
Yeah.
It's been a super fun for this this last 5 day period to do these daily meetings, daily live streams, blogs, and yeah, dude, I am super happy with what we've done, and thank you for our community and everybody joining and following along. I think this would not have been possible without everybody and all of your support. So thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for that. And
yeah, thanks everyone for joining this week. This is a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoy everything we released. As always, let us know what you think. Let me know what you think. Slack community is a great way to get your feedback out there. And you can always DM me directly in Slack as well.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to check in. And yeah, we want to stay respectful of your time, so we're gonna cut it off right now. And stay tuned for another launch week, hopefully in a couple of months.
All right. Have a good weekend, everyone. Cheers.
See you guys.